God will make a way where there seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me, and He will be my Father, your word said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Father, we believe we will not perish. We will have everlasting life. Father, continue to bless us, continue to guide our days, continue to bless our friends, our family, our loved ones. We ask that you keep them safe, you keep them well, Father. You keep them thriving, Father. You make them successful, Father. Father, that you give them the courage, you give them the strength, Father. For whatever they stop doing, Father, continue to help them go through, Father. Father, we can't say much, but we just want to say thank you. Father, we can't say much, but we just want to say thank you. Just tell God thank you. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you. Father, we just want to say thank you for all that you are doing and continuing to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let us give a round of applause for our pastor, Pastor Frantz.
Praise the Lord. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Amen?
Amen.
I'm so thankful that I am a sanctuary because the Lord made it possible in Christ Jesus to be a place where you can leave my heart. Amen? I'm so happy to be with you this morning. Thank you for your prayers. We went to a family retreat at Orlando Resort with 77 people. We had a great time together. We talk about family leadership in times of crisis. The Lord really help us. So hopefully next year you can go with us, guys, if possible. I have a great message for you this morning, and I would like you to repeat these words with me before we start. I can do great things because Jesus is with me. He promised to never leave me. I love God and I love people because the Holy Spirit lives inside of me. He is greater than Satan. I am safe because God, my Father, is above me, watching over my life. He is in control of everything. I'm walking toward glorification to meet Jesus, my Lord and Savior. Amen. Amen. And today, world in which we live, we receive so many informations every day. A lot of information that we can handle. We hear the news, we get information. We go on social media, we get information. We talk with people, we receive information. But I have a question for you this morning. I have a question for you. Do you believe all the information that you hear? How do you make decisions when you hear information? What do you do when somebody texts you? Then you got information. Well, if you're like me, we tend to speak. And the moment you speak, whatever you say is based upon the information that you receive. What do you think happened when something happened to you? What do you think happened when something happened? When something happens, regardless of what it is, you have thoughts about it. You have thoughts about it, and those thoughts determine what you do, how you feel, how you behave. So this morning, I want to suggest to you something very significant. Before making decisions, may I advise you to verify the information? Verify information before making decisions can save you a lot of mistakes in life, can save lives. It is so unfortunate that some people believe every word they hear from the news. They have their favorite show, their favorite news media, and once those people talk, they believe. It is so unfortunate. People are being guided by a movement. Whatever the movement say, people react. They don't verify the information to see if it is correct, if it is true. People just make decisions based on information only. So this morning I want to challenge you to learn how to make decisions I want to challenge you to learn how to make decisions differently. So the message is verify information before making decisions. I'm going to share with you two examples in the Bible. One is good, and the other one is bad. All right? Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 10. 2 Samuel chapter 10. Are you ready? 2 Samuel chapter 10. It is unfortunate. There is a war that took place in this passage, and that war could have been avoided if those involved made verify information before making decisions. Let's look at it together. Sometime after this, King Nahash of the Ammonites died, and his son Hanun became king. David said, I am going to show loyalty to Hanun just as his father. Nahash was always loyal to me. What have you heard from this passage? Huh? Loyalty. Great. Loyalty from who? Huh? From David. David said, I have to show loyalty to someone because of his father. I have to show loyalty to Hanun because of his father. So David didn't have what we have today to text him. All right? He couldn't text him directly. So what he did, he sent messengers. So when David's ambassadors arrived in the land of Ammon, the Ammonite commanders said to Hanun, the master, do you really think these men are coming here to honor your father? This question evokes doubt. You see that? No, David has sent them to spy out the city so they can come in and conquer it. There is something missing here. The how. How did the commanders know that David sent his messengers to spy on the country? How did they know? They just assumed. And based on this assumption, the king made a decision. The decision is revealed in verse 4. So Hanun seized David's ambassadors and shaved off half of each man's beard, cut off their robes and the buttocks, and sent them back to David in shame. Well, David received the messengers, and he told them, stay at Jericho until your beards grow out, and then come back. And then, bang, we had a war. If you go to the last verse of the passage, in verse 18, 700 charioteers and 40,000 foot soldiers die as a result. David's motive was right. He wanted to show loyalty to someone. Someone stepped in the middle, suggested something different. And then we had a war. A lot of people died. How many relationships have been destroyed because of misinformation? People make decisions before verifying the information. How many wars we have in our generation because some intelligence tell the president that this country have nuclear weapons. We have to do something about it before they destroy our lives. And then we go into war. We kill a lot of people. After the war is over, we realize the information was wrong. How many relationships have been destroyed because we failed to verify the information before we make decisions? This war could have been avoided. Would you agree? It is important to understand how your mind functions. Your mind functions with words, and words become thoughts. And thoughts are shaped by what you hear, by what you read, and by what's taking place in your life. Those thoughts are irrational without facts. When you have thoughts, before you make decisions, you need to put your thoughts on trial, looking for evidences and support or against the thoughts before you make a decision. Somebody comes to you, so-and-so hates you. What? You just make a decision by saying what? But you should not say what. Thank you for this information. I will verify it. You just make another decision. But you say, no, I'm not going to make a decision based on what I heard only. I'm going to verify to see if the information is accurate. Once the information is accurate, now you no longer make decisions based on opinions, you make decisions based on facts. Then your decision becomes rational instead of irrational. Are you guys with me? Let's look at another example in the Bible. 2 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1 to 4. 2 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. This is a good example. When David, out of the background of this passage, David was running away from his son, who was trying to take over his kingship. So he was away from the palace. He was away from Jerusalem. David had a relationship with a person called Jonathan. They were good friends, and Jonathan died. But before Jonathan died, they had a covenant where they agree with each other. No matter what happened, they're going to treat each other family well. So Jonathan died, and that David honored his promise to do well for one of the sons of David. Did what he was supposed to do. He honored his promise by doing good for a son of Jonathan called Mephibosheth. When David had gone a little beyond the summit of the Mount of Olives, Ziba was a servant of Mephibosheth. David said, Mephibosheth is an handicapped person. I want Ziba to take care of Mephibosheth for me. So the servant of Mephibosheth was waiting there for him. he had 2 donkeys loaded with 2 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisins, 100 bunches of summer fruit, and a wineskin full of wine. What are these for? The king asked Ziba. Ziba replied, the donkeys are for the king's people to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit are for the young men to eat. The wine is for those who become exhausted in the wilderness. And the king said, where is Mephibosheth? He's gathering information, right? He doesn't assume. Saul's grandson, the king asked him, he stay in Jerusalem. Ziba replied, he said, today I will get back the kingdom of my grandfather Saul. That's what the reporter said. That's what the news channel said. He stay in Jerusalem because he's going to give you a coup d'etat. He wants to take over your power. Well, he's coming to your house because he wants to take your spouse from you. That's why he's texting your spouse. Then you create enemies without verifying. Or he was on the phone because he was talking to somebody that I don't want him to talk. I don't want her to talk. He's cheating on me. How do you know? So you got the information here, right? So Ziba reported to David, Mephibosheth stay in Jerusalem because he wants to take your position. So now, if you are a king, somebody told you that, or that someone wants to take your position, then you find that person. What would you do? Talk to me. What would you do? Kill him. Kill him. And I agree. Look at 2 Samuel 19, verse 25. Let's look at 2 Samuel 19, verse 25 to 31, to see what David did. Now, you guys said you are going to kill him, right? And what did I tell you to do? But this is our instinct, right? Let's look at verse 25. Now, fast forward, David returned to Jerusalem. He's no longer running away from the palace. Now he returned to Jerusalem to take back his palace. Let's see what happened. Now Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson, came down from Jerusalem to meet the king. Now David has an opportunity to do something about Mephibosheth. He had not cared for his feet, trimmed his beard, or watched his clothes since the day the king left Jerusalem. Why? He was neglected since the day that David left Jerusalem. Why? He was crippled. His servant, Ziba, was supposed to take care of him. And he couldn't do it on his own. So Ziba reported something false about him. So now, why didn't you come with me, Mephibosheth? The king asked him. What is that? Verifying, right? Now, I heard something. He didn't even share with Mephibosheth what Ziba said, but he's gathering information to ensure what Ziba said was accurate before he made any decision. Mephibosheth replied, my lord the king, my servant Ziba deceived me. I told him, saddle my donkey so I can go with the king. For as you know, I am crippled. Ziba has slandered me by saying that I refuse to come. But I know that my lord the king is like an angel of God, so do what you think is best. Now you have all the information at your hand. Do what you think is best. All my relatives and I could expect only death from you, my Lord, but instead you have honored me by allowing me to eat at your own table. What more can I ask? You have said enough, David replied. I have decided that you and Ziba will divide your land equally between you. Ziba wanted to have it all. Now David make a decision so they can split the land between themselves. So what David is saying, you can no longer live with each other because you guys are lying. Ziba is lying about you. Relationship is based on trust, loyalty. Now he can no longer be your servant. You guys split the land, and that's my decision. So David could have killed Mephibosheth if he made decision based on the information that Ziba provided. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2. You don't have to go there to read it. But do remember, Adam and Eve made a bad decision. All right? And they went away from God. So now, God came to them asking what? Questions. Did God know what they did? But why did he ask them questions? Verify. A simple question can help you verify the information. So we as Christians, not only we have to do our due diligence to investigate information before we make decisions, we also have the Holy Spirit lives inside of us. He is the Spirit of truth. He can lead us into all truth. So we can pray, ask God for guidance to ensure the information that we have is correct before we make decisions. King Solomon, 2 women came to him claiming that a child belongs to both of them. So they provided information to the king, and the king listened, and the king was about to make a decision. But before the king made the decision to decide whose woman was the right mother for the child, he said, you know what, give me a sword, cut the child in half, and gave half to each mother. You know, the purpose of that decision was what? Verifying who was truly the mother of the child. Because the mother of the child would not allow the king to kill the son. And when the one that was not the mother of the child said, yeah, go ahead and kill the son, the king realized now it was the wrong mother. So now he understood he was the wrong mother. He made the right decision by giving the child to the right mother. So throughout the Bible, you see that godly people verify information before they make decisions. Here's what I'm going to leave you with. In Proverbs, we learn 3 principles that are very important to make decisions. The first principle, we see it throughout the examples that I gave you, knowledge. You need to know things before you make decisions, right? So when Ziba reported to David what Mephibosheth did, that was knowledge to David, right? But should you make decisions based on knowledge only? No. You will make mistakes. Oh, I know so-and-so. I think many relationships suffered because we make decisions based on knowledge only. We see someone out there, we say, I know her, maybe she can be my wife. But do you understand her? You may know something, but you do not understand it. So the first step is knowledge. The second step is understanding. That's the process of verification. So you understand what you know now. Now, once you understand what you know, now you use wisdom. Wisdom is to make decisions, making the best decision. Now, the king, Mephibosheth said, David, now you know all the information. You understand the situation. Do what you think is the best. All right? Well, before you get into the stock market, make sure you study it, you know it. All right? Before you decide to invest in certain companies, make sure you understand the historicity behind those companies. And then, finally you can make your decisions. Somebody doesn't come to church. What do you think is going to happen when you don't see the person? You're going to have thoughts, assuming you know why the person didn't come to church today. And then you might end up making decisions without verifying with the person why you didn't come to church. Or so-and-so had so many days, so many months, they have not been come to church. You assume you know why without talking first with the person. Brothers and sisters, you can save a lot of lives. You can protect yourself from making many mistakes if you learn how to verify information before you make decisions. I challenge you this morning to do that because it is good for you. It is good for you. I didn't see someone this morning in the service. Many thoughts traveled my mind, wondering why. After the service is over, I asked somebody who's close to that person, why so-and-so didn't come to the service today? So-and-so has a headache since last night. I didn't know that information. You see what I'm saying? But if I didn't ask the why question with the why person, I will stay in my assumption, thinking that I know, but in reality I don't. Verify information before making decision can save your life. Thank you for watching us. We appreciate you. Hope to see you next time. Please subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, so you can stay in touch with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the service. May the Lord bless you. Have a productive day. Make sure you verify information before you make decision. Before you scream at your spouse, verify the information. May the Lord bless you.